everybody, happy Wednesday. What a morning. So I got up. Well, let me start from the beginning. First of all, I'm having a Hot Pocket pepperoni and cheese. This is a Walmart Great Value brand. Really good. I needed to eat it before it was too old. It's been in my freezer forever. But anyway, last night, yesterday morning, Daryl took a shower and noticed that, because I take a shower at night, and so night before last, I took a shower and I was fine. The next morning, Daryl took a shower and it started to run cold on him. And so later he gets out and he goes down and checks, and the pilot light's burned out, blah, 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 and he can't get it back, and there's all these things going on. Mind you, we just had a new water heater put in last year at this time. Almost exactly this time. It was in February. And the year before that, we had another one put in. There's something wrong with our house. It does not like water heaters. We were fine for the first 11 years that we were here, or 10 years, or 9 years, and now we've had 2 new water heaters in a row. This time, we don't need a new water heater, but we need parts that need to be shipped in. He found one part. It's our gas valve that needs to be fixed. He brought in one part that he needed, and it was a fluke that he even found it. He had to go leave the house, drive around, and find one and bring it back. It was a fluke that he even found it. The other thing he needs, the actual gas valve, he just went to see if he could maybe just go find one somewhere as another fluke, but most likely it'll have to be delivered either tomorrow or the next day. And then he'll come back and install it. And so last night I just washed my hair in the sink and I did a spitz bath. My stepdad called them spitz baths. I don't know why it's called a spitz bath and not a spit bath. I don't know. I just call it what he called it. You wash your pits. You wash every pit. Every pit and cranny with a washcloth or whatever. So I did that really well last night and this morning. And so I'm clean and I have clean hair. Daryl, on the other hand, he decided to take a cold shower this morning, and I sat there and watched him. It was hilarious. He's like, whoa, 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 hey, hey, hey. It was hilarious. And he got it all washed. It was so funny. Poor guy. So he might be doing that again in the morning. So the guy came right at 9 o'clock. I got dressed. I put my face on. So I haven't been able to leave the house. And I'm starving, so I just made lunch. And the thing is, I don't know if he's coming back today, because if he finds the part, he'll come back. But if he doesn't, he'll come back tomorrow or when the part ends up coming in. So it's like, can I go to the store or can I not go to the store? And it's been snowing, little flurries all morning. It snowed overnight, just like an inch. But it's dang cold outside, and so that's the story of the morning. I'll tell you what, these Walmart Hot Pockets are really good. I like them a lot. One is not enough for me, but that's all I'm gonna allow. I've never had more than one Hot Pocket in my life at a time. But boy, could I. I also decided to open this up. I got this at Christmas. It's Martinelli's pear cider. It's really good. You can really taste the pear in it. Like, a real pear. But I liked it. It was really good. My favorite, though, is by Welch's. Their Welch's white grape is the bomb. And their purple grape, too, but Welch's, they're sweeter than Martinelli's. They're amazeballs. So this is what it looks like right now. There's a little blizzard blowing. Not too bad, it's not sticking, but man, it is freezing cold. It's only 24 degrees today. Well, I decided since today is just a yucky day, I'm gonna make treats. So the first treat I'm gonna make is this batch of Chex Mix. Daryl hates Chex Mix, but I flippin' love it. I don't have pretzels, but I do have nuts. I'm using the rest of these cereals from last year. Yes, they are a year old, but I tasted them and they're decent enough to use up. You can tell they're just a little old. They taste a little stale, but that's all right. They're gonna be fine. And calls for garlic powder, but all I have is garlic salt. So I'll try to go lightly on that. It calls for onion powder, and it also calls for seasoned salt, which is right here. And then some Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire, yeah. It calls for Worcestershire sauce. And then 8 tablespoons of butter, but I'm gonna use the whole block because I like it buttery and greasy. And yeah, that's about it. Last time I used more butter, it was really good. Anyway, I'm just gonna mix it all together. I'm gonna melt my butter, mix everything together in this dish. And then I'm gonna use the oven method instead of the microwave. And then, so you just cook it at 270 for an hour and then mix it up, stir it up every 15 minutes. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, I've melted my butter and it calls for 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. I'll probably use more because I just like mine extra bold. So I'm gonna put 3. I know, I'm nuts, but I love it. So there's that. And then it calls for 1.5 teaspoons of seasoned salt. I'm just gonna put 1 teaspoon in because it's so salty. I would rather have more garlic than this. Scoop this out. There's that. 3/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, but I'm gonna do a whole teaspoon of garlic salt. And a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, but I'm gonna do a full teaspoon of onion powder. Okay. Okay. So now I'm just gonna dump everything in. I don't want the powdery crumbs. I love Cheerios, and these shrink. These Cheerios shrink up. It's so nice to have all of the space in my pantry now that these boxes are gone. Some nuts. Okay. Let me just taste this. Quite nice, but it needs something. I don't know, I think it needs more sauce. Does it need more of this? No. Okay, the oven is ready, so I'm just gonna put these in. I hope they turn out good, since I didn't season them exactly how it said. I think they'll be fine. Okay, it's set for 15 minutes. Here is stir number 1. I think they need a little more onion powder. They're just missing something. It's all finished, everybody. Super yummy. Super crunchy. I just took it out of the oven, so it still has to set. This is the type of stuff where you just can't stop. This is going to get me in big trouble. The next treat I'm going to make is this package of vanilla bean sugar cookies. This is by Ruby Snap, and it's a Utah thing. These are the best darn cookies ever, and they taste, well, they freaking are. They're homemade, and she freezes them and sells them. And she's got all different flavors, and she names them. And so this one is called, what's her name? Oh, this one's Mia. Ruby's very own Fatty Pants Vanilla Bean Sugar Cookie with a buttercream beet frosting. Beat that. Yeah. So these expired this past November, but they're still going to be fine. And they're the best cookies ever. They are absolutely delicious, and they've gone up $2 in price now because of what's going on. So they used to be $6.99, and now they're $8.99 a bag. But they're worth it. So you just take them out of the bag. They come already rolled out. So you get 12 cookies. There you go. And here's the frosting, and it is the most delightful buttercream frosting I've ever had in my life. And there's lemon extract in here, and so it is just lemony and vanilla. It's amazing. Oh. So you set the oven to 350, which it's preheating now, and you bake them for 12 to 14 minutes. And that's it. Made in Utah. I think you can maybe go online and order some at rubysnap.com. But they'll be, I think they're like twice the price online. It's crazy, I know. But who knows? Check it out. She might be different now. So I added garlic salt to my Chex mix anyway. I just sprinkled some on. That's what it was missing, and it tastes just fine. It's not too salty. And I also, during the cooking process, added just a little bit of cayenne pepper, so you get that little hint of hotness. Woo! It's so good. Mmm. Mmm. Kind of feels and smells like Christmas in here. Baking cookies and Chex Mix. My mom used to always make, well, not always, but when she did make this, she'd make it at Christmas, I think. My mind might be wrong, but I've just always smelled this stuff at Christmas. And my Aunt Betty, she made Chex Mix at Christmas time. We would go there, my dad and my brother and I, my parents were divorced. We'd go to my dad's Aunt Betty's house. This was like back in the 80s. Early 80s and late 80s. The whole 80s. And we'd go there for dinner for Christmas Eve. And it was just so fun because her house was really old, and she had this really old small Christmas tree. It was just like a 3-foot, and she always had it sitting on like a wooden chest, like a hope chest or something. And she had pink turtle doves and had real feathers, and she just hung them on, just placed them on her tree. And I think she had pink lights. Maybe they were clear, I don't quite remember, but I was just always staring at that tree like, oh my gosh, that is so neat. And sometimes she would make, do you remember the Lifesaver people? Like the Lifesaver roll was the body, and then she, I guess you thread yarn through the top and bottom of the roll of Lifesavers, and then you have like a styrofoam head, and then you've got feet that are made of yarn. I don't know if she had arms on it or not, probably. Excuse me, I've got peanut skin in my mouth, but. And then she'd put, she would pin sequins for the eyes and the nose and little beads for the mouth. Oh my gosh. So when we were really little, she'd make us those. And I just thought those were so fun. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. I want one so bad. They were so cute. And I think even my mom might have made one or two. I'm not sure, but we would hang them on the tree when I would get back home. I just remember it being on the tree. I don't know, maybe she had them on the tree and pulled them off and gave them to us. I just don't remember, because I was like 10. I was like 9, 10. But, and she'd always have cheesy potatoes or funeral potatoes. which we call them here in Utah. It's just like a hash brown casserole with chicken, cream of chicken soup, cheese, you know. And my brother and I, we both had Merlins. It was a battery-operated game, handheld game, and they were long and red, and they kind of looked like a telephone, and you could play different games, and you just press it, would go doo 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 doo. It was. We would sit under her kitchen table and just play with our Merlins. And she had an old radio that she had up on her refrigerator. Everything in her kitchen was old. I mean, we're talking everything in her house was old, original, old. Like 40s, 50s old. And she had FM 100 playing. That was the only station that would play Christmas music back then. That was a good memory. Hearing that Christmas music on the fridge, on the top, and it was just really old-fashioned, and yep, those were good days. I mean, they were kind of sad days because my parents were divorced, but you always got 2 Christmases and go to Aunt Betty's house, and it was so fun. And my dad, he would just, you know, they would just sit and talk. They wouldn't watch TV or anything. I think the TV might have been on sometimes, but we'd all just talk. And David and I would just sit under the table and play with our toys. And then we'd always have ham. She always made ham and potatoes and rolls and green beans. It was fun. So we'd get there probably 4 or 5 in the afternoon and then stay till about maybe 8 and then be on our way. And she was so cute. She always wore bright red lipstick, bright red. And she dyed her hair black with a white stripe, like this thick, a white stripe. And she pulled it up, and then she had a wig bun that she put on top, and it was jet black with the white stripe. And so she always had, and her hair was always up in that bun. It was always meticulously done and always looked nice. And she was super tall and really skinny, and she always dressed really nice. That was Aunt Betty. Oh my gosh. Yep, that was Aunt Betty. Black hair with the white stripe and the bright red lipstick. All right, I've reminisced enough. I've bored you to death. So I'm waiting for the oven to preheat to get these darn cookies in. I just took them out of the oven. They look so good. And these racks came from Dollar Tree. You get 2 in a pack. And just one tip, don't put them in the dishwasher. I didn't put this one in the dishwasher, and look how nice it is. I put this one in the dishwasher, and all of that silver plating came off, and now it's just like kind of rusty. So yeah, just hand wash. I was just lazy and stuck it in the dishwasher. I don't know why I did that, but anyway. So I'm gonna let these cool, and over here, I'm letting the frosting de-thaw or defrost, and then we'll frost the cookies. It's been, I don't know, an hour and a half, and the frosting is finally ready to be squirted onto my cookies. And let me tell you what, when I'm done frosting my cookies, I squish up every bit of frosting that I can and eat it right out of this bag. All right. Let's get started, shall we? I'm gonna take a bite of one. These are so good, and if you look closely, you can see vanilla bean specks. Oh. These are so soft. Has the right density. They are just so good. They're the perfect thickness, and they seem a little small, but they're very rich, and all you need is one cookie. That's it. Even Daryl, he will stop at 2. Whereas the Betty Crocker chocolate chip, he'll stop at 6. And here's what's left over of my frosting. So I'll just sit and squeeze it out and just lick it off my finger. The frosting alone is worth $8.99 or $9.99, whatever it is. Yeah, $8.99. It's so good. And then whatever I don't eat, I'll put it in the fridge and eat it later. I do have little candies, you know, little nonpareils or whatever to sprinkle on, but I'm not in the mood to deal with those, so I'm just gonna leave them off. But anyway, those are the treats that I made for the day, everybody. All right, I've got my cookies in this awesome Tupperware container, and it's a good thing I ate one because they simply all won't fit in here. I had to eat one. Now I'm gonna put my Chex Mix in this Ziploc baggie. These taste so much better the longer they sit. It's so funny how you think they're not gonna be good when they first bake, but then after they've settled, oh my gosh, they are really good. So I'm just gonna take this bowl for a scoop. And just put it in.